Risk averse, remember, is someone who is very frightened of risk. He cannot take risk. Anything that is a bit of risk, he gets very frightened. So do you want to sell to someone where the buyers are risk averse or weak? Of course, risk averse. Risk averse is one, you don't know what it means, but very scared of losing. Okay, before you know what you know what. So if you refer to okay, Kiasu, that's the best. Why? Because these people, they always bid higher. Right? Risk averse is someone who's afraid of losing. The risk of losing in the auction. So very frightened of risk. So they don't mind bid higher. Okay, so they are afraid of risk. They bid higher to reduce the risk. So that means the seller will be richer. Now, that's true only for these two options. Then the seller will be richer because they are afraid of the risk of losing. So they don't want to bid higher to reduce the risk. Right? They are frightened of risk. Now, but in these two options, it doesn't matter. Why? In this stock option, these two, whether they are risk averse or risk averse, does it matter? It doesn't matter. How? There's a dominant strategy. So if in these two options there's a dominant strategy, everybody will use the dominant strategy because that will give the highest payoff. Okay? So in this case, it does not matter who you are, what type of person you are. Because in these two options, there's a dominant strategy. And so everybody will follow it. Right? So therefore, whether the person is a lover or an averse, it does not matter. We will sure use the dominant strategy. And therefore, the seller's revenue will still be the same. But in these two, there's no dominant strategy. There's a trade-off. Right? The higher you bid, the chances of winning is higher. But the payoff is lower, right? But risk averse is not really about lower payoff. They worry only about the risk losing, right? So therefore, these two options will always bid more. And so the seller will be richer. How to prove? How to prove this? How to prove that here the sellers will be richer? So let's look at a simple example. Two risk averse bidders. Okay, utility is valuation and real estate. Now, if the two bidders are risk averse, first they want to maximize this, right? Everyone go to the option to maximize. That's okay. Agree? But the risk averse don't maximize gain, right? They maximize what? Utility. How to change utility? Very simple, right? Just put a 1. Do this here. Finish. This becomes utility. Okay? So a risk averse wants to maximize this utility. The thing is, in the auction, will he be able to get it? Not necessary. You only get it if you win, right? So, what's the chances that you win? Now, one thing for sure we know, in this auction, everybody will beat 1. Bidder 2 will beat a fraction of this valuation. Well, first price will beat. Now that being the case, bidder 1 will win if what? If his bid is higher than, he will win if his bid is higher than 1. This one, right? That's all. Since this person bid this way, therefore we will win if B1 is greater than B2 here. Okay? So this F, you rearrange, you get this. So we only get this with this probability. This is the probability that you win. Okay? Now, which means you will win this option with this probability. Probability that can you give me this probability? What is this probability equal to? How much is it? What's the probability that B1 will have this greater than this? This side, this side, this side. The probability that bidder's 2 valuation smaller than this is where? As the bidder 2 valuation is here. Is this smaller than here? That's right. So here, the bidder 2 valuation is here. Is this smaller than this? Yes, sorry. Here. So this is it. So this is the probability, right? So what's the probability equal to? This is equal to rank count, right? And so it's equal to here. So that's the answer. Okay, can you start this off? Answer this again. So that's the probability. Take this away. The probability that you win is this. Okay, any question? Okay. So, utility multiplied by the probability, you get what? Utility multiplied by the probability, you get expected utility. Okay? Okay, so that's the probability that you will get this utility. Now, how to find this? U of x is this, U of this is UI. Okay, so problem solved. Not very easy. Now, given that this person is a utility maximizer, so therefore, to maximize utility, he has to decide on how much to bid to maximize utility, so you differentiate this with respect to B1, right? So if you differentiate this with respect to B1, what will you get? Okay, so very straightforward, you just use without rule, B1 here, B1 here. So without rule, first we hold this constant. This term constant, then we differentiate this, so we get 1 over n. Next, we hold this term constant, then we differentiate this chain rule, we get this 1. We set to 0, and then the rest are very straightforward. So This one I just put here. This one I just put below. Alright, this one I just put here. That's all. So to solve for B1, now very straightforward. Just get rid of this thing. Okay, get rid of this thing. Now to get rid of this thing, in order to solve for B1, you multiply this equation throughout by this thing. Right? So you multiply throughout by this thing will go away. That's why you need to have this. Multiply throughout by f, all the f disappears, right? So when you multiply throughout by this thing, this becomes to the power of what? This times this to the power of 1. Okay? That's all. Okay, so no more mathematics involved. So if we solve for B1 equal to this. So therefore, you can see a risk averse either beat or they beat a bigger fraction of their valuation. Okay? Understand? Because you see, if they are risk neutral, how much will everybody beat? Risk neutral. Everybody beat how much? When there are two bidders, everybody will beat how much? When there are two bidders, everybody will beat half their valuation. Half, right? And when they are risk averse, you notice they beat a bigger fraction. A bigger fraction. Right, 2/3. So I think you can see it's better to sell to risk averse because they tend to beat higher. Why? They are just so frightened of risk. They dare not even take risk in anything. They are so scared. So that's why they don't want to beat higher to reduce the risk, even though they get lesser return. Alright. Okay, people. Okay, so we are done with this now. Let's look at common value option. Now, in a common value option, nothing much to study. Now, why nothing much to study? Because in this type of option, nobody knows how much the thing is worth. That's why nothing much to study. Okay, because the thing is, if you don't know the valuation, then no use. Right? It's just like someone go and buy stocks and share. You don't even know what's the stock. Hospital tell you to buy, you just go and buy it for it. Right, now after that you lose money, you blame the hospital. You don't blame yourself for listening to a horse. Right, why should you listen to a horse? So the thing is, all of us, to make money is very tough. Right, we have to do a lot of research to find out the share is worth how much, so that when you buy it, you know whether the stocks is undervalued or overvalued. Then the part is very difficult. It's different for all your theory. Your theory, all the PE ratio, all your net tangible assets, all those are useless. They are all old historical data. Right. So for you to make money, you must be very bright. You must be able to forecast the future. The future industry trend, the future earning. Right. It's a company in the sunset industry. So if you know the valuation, then you know what you're buying, right? If you don't know the valuation, then how do you know what you're buying? So in a common value auction, a lot of people lose money because of what? They don't know what they're buying into. They don't know the value of the item, the true valuation. Now nobody will know anyway. Who will know? If the government sell an oil field, Or for example, US now they are selling shale gas to private businesses, right? So you go and bid. Right, how much to bid? So because of this, nobody knows the true value. So therefore, in a common value auction, nothing much to do. We cannot teach you anything. Right? Because even the people who participate in the common value auction, they are all very intelligent people. They are the big boys. Shell, Esso, AT&T, all these, right, they bid for big things. How can these people be stupid? Even if they are stupid, they have their very good financial advisor around. They will tell them what to do and how to lose money along. Most of them lose money. Not because the financial controller, the advisor, hopeless, but because they are not good at forecasting. Nobody can tell the future. So the big boys lost a lot of money because they bid too high. So in a common value auction, because there's nobody knows the value, we don't even know whether we are paying too much or too little. So that's why nothing much to talk about. First, the most important thing, find the valuation. There's no dominant strategy because nobody knows the valuation. So in the English auction, what you can do is this. Go to the auction, try to see how the big boys bid. Then you can learn from them. Right, you see, for example, this oil field, if you look at how BP bid run, or Shell bid, roughly you know the valuations around there. That's assuming that the big boys don't make mistakes, but of course, all these are wrong. Right, it's the brine leading the brine. The whole world will become brine. Because all the time they lose money. Because they cannot tell how much oil is below the ground. But still they are better than us. We have totally no information. So go there and see how the big boys bid. Then we learn, roughly we can estimate the valuation from them, then we know how to bid. Okay, but these days, very hard to tell already. Because in the common value auction, the big boys are also very clever. Although they are big, now they dress up as baby. Because they know that you are observing them. And the worst thing is that you go and imitate them. Right? If I bid 100 million, you sure go and follow me and bid 101 million, 102 million, right? So now they act like baby. You cannot let you know who they are. Right? They ask the grandmother to go and bid for them. So this everybody wondering who's this grandmother, representing which company, they won't reveal their identity. Right? So therefore, the grandmother bid 100 million, nobody there to follow because she's a grandmother. Right? Everyone wants all mixed up, all confused. But if you know it's BP, you should follow. Alright. Okay, so nowadays they are very good at hiding their identity. Now, of course, the grandma will be all wired up. Right, she's communicating. It's just that you don't know. Okay, so in this case, it becomes even harder. So that's why common value auction, frankly speaking, don't think the professional know. They also don't know. Right, so that's why they lose a lot of money. Now, if it's a common value first price bid auction, even harder. You know why harder? This type of auction works even worse. You cannot observe how the big boys bid. Right? Why? They submit their bid secretly. So if you have no knowledge of the thing, you totally cannot tell what's the valuation. No valuation, please don't bid. Right? It's just like buying a share to know what they are buying. If you're lucky, you make some money. If you're unlucky, you can lose a lot. So therefore, in the first price bid, again, nothing much to talk about. The only thing that we can tell you in this first price bid auction where so much bidder lose so much money is because they tend to suffer from what? The winner's curse. So what's the winner's curse? Now, the winner's curse means if you are cursed in this way, it means if you lose, you lose. But if you win, you also lose. So this is the winner's curse. Now if a person suffers from the winner's curse, it simply means he cannot win anything in life. Right, it's a natural born with it. No matter how he's destined to lose. So that's what the winner's curse is all about, right? Because even if you win, you also lose. Then it doesn't make sense. Then I must well lose maybe I can win. Alright. So, in this world of such thing, you win, you lose. Of course, some people argue that North Korea suffered from the winner's curse. Why? Because if they did not win the war, today they'll be richer than many countries in the world. Right? Because if you look at South Korea, they are the same people, same thing, everything the same. But the South Koreans are so rich. But the North Korean being the same people are so poor. In fact, one of the poorest countries in the world, not better than Africa. If you look at the GDP, not better than Africa. In fact, I think Africa is richer than that. Because Africa got everything. Right, you got oil, you got calcium, you got metal, gold, you got platinum, lion, name all. Africa has everything. Really, it's very nice. It's well endowed, very well endowed. Everything you want, you find. Giraffe as well. You cannot see people if they are too short in front of the giraffe, right? And you see the world. So, is it true that North Korea suffered from the winner's curse? Yes, definitely. Because if they didn't win the war today, they would be very, very rich. If you look at the South of Vietnam, same countries, like Singapore split into two parts, North and South. Right. Okay, same people. It's a tale of two cities. Of course, the North Koreans won't be poor. Like, they are actually they are doing very well because every day they are being fooled. They look, every day they watch the TV, they are being fooled that they are the best. They are frog in the well. That's why they cannot see outside. It's all censored. So, no, but of course in an auction you can also suffer from the winner's curse, right? How come? Like I said, you want to win in an auction, is it possible? Sure. You bid $100. If I want to win, I just bid $1 million. I shall win. But if I win, I suffer from what? The winner's curse. Right, for the color TV, you bid 100, I go and bid 1 million. Of course I win. So I win the auction, but my gain is what? Big negative. Very big loss. Right. So, how to avoid this winner's curse? To avoid the winner's curse, what we can only tell you is that the bidders should discount their valuation to avoid the winner's curse. Why? Because if you don't discount your valuation, if you look at here, if you don't discount your valuation, what will happen? Now, your density, probability density function is here. So the actual valuation of the thing is here. Now, if you don't discount your valuation, how often do you suffer from the winner's curse? What's the probability that you suffer from the winner's curse? You go and bid here, 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 here. Even if you win, you lose, right? Because you bid more than the actual valuation. 50% of the time you suffer from the winner's curse, 50% of the time you are safe. Right? So how to avoid this, how to reduce this probability is to discount your valuation. Now if you discount your valuation by D, effectively what you're doing is that you're shifting your density function to this part. So once your density function is shifted to here, and I think you can see clearly now, the chances of suffering from the curse is how much? Here, the actual valuation of the thing is here. So if you bid here, 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 or here, you suffer from the curse. But the probability that you bid here, here, here is infinity. It's no longer 50%. Okay? So if you discount your valuation, the chances that you suffer from the winner's curse is much, much lesser. Now it's because many bidders, they fail to discount their valuation. That's why many television companies almost go bankrupt. Right, they bid more than the actual valuation. Even the 3G license, when it was first rolled out in Europe, the winner almost go bankrupt. You bid 9 billion, but the thing turned out after 1 year it's only worth 6 billion. Right, you lost 3,000 million. Okay, now, so that's it now. Common value option, nothing much to talk about. Because nothing, no valuation to teach you how to read is actually just to show you. For example, in your question 6, define these two options. What's the winner's curse? When the winner's curse happens in a private value option, and how can it be avoided? So again, the fastest way is to look at this. Now, what's the difference between a private value option and the English value option and the common value option? That's the difference. That's the difference. In the common value option, we just mentioned, nobody knows the true value of an item. Whereas in a private value option, all the bidders are very private. See, you know how much is the value. Right? So that's the difference. Okay, but although the bidders in a private value option are very private, they know how much the value, right? Are we saying that people in the bidder in the private value option are more intelligent than those in the common value? Private value option is like you and me. You go and bid, you are small boy. Right. The common value options are the big boys. You are just baby. But how come we are more clever than them? We look at the thing, we know how much item is worth. Why? Well, we have learned that before, right? How about in private value auction, the bidders are so clever, they look at the thing, they know how much it's worth. You ask Brad Pitt, how much is Angelina Jolie worth? He will give you the answer right away, 100 million US. How come he's so clever? Because the valuation depends on who is looking at it. The valuation depends on the buyer. Now, Brad Pitt value Angelina Jolie at 100 million. Will you value her at 100 million? I don't think so. Now, some said she's pretty, some said she looks like me. Because after she did MD, then she liked me. Not like she liked my teacher. So she went to South Korea and do something. After that she did, Brad Pitt look at it, Brad Pitt liked it also. Brad Pitt said this stuff, this is worth 100 million. Rare commodity, rare supply. Right, cannot find. Where to find? The whole Singapore is finding someone that really knows something. Everything that's in short supply, the value go up. Isn't it? You go to China, there are 200 pumpkin things. Everybody go to South Korea and change their look to pumpkin thing. And then, okay, of course, now the value drop. Anything that's in excess supply, the value drop. My value still go up because nobody there is meditating. Except her. But after she do it, she's lucky, right? So I think that's why you see Brad Pitt take that. So that's why a private value option, people are so clever because they're all rubbish. It's all fake. Right. You will disagree with Brad Pitt, but you will disagree with everything, but you can say whatever you like. You get the most handsome guy in the whole of the US. Brad Pitt is brand number 1 in terms of the US at the time. Now grow over like me. Grow over, everybody says, you don't believe, and now 10 years you look at your face, you don't believe this is you. It's like that. Every 5 years, when you reach 25, your face why you walk on the street, have you ever wondered, how come this fellow go this fellow? Cannot be right. Every day you wonder in your mind, this two cannot be right. But you must understand, when they are young, they are not like that. Right, when you first met her, she first met you, it's not like that. Two of you look very muscular, look very nice, everything here tight. Right, after a few years, they're dropping off. It's like that. Okay, so anyway, your private value auction, people are so clever because only of one thing, the valuation is big. Right, so what matters most, if you think it's this much, you think it's this much, you cannot be wrong. Right. So which means, if that be the case, no people, everyone knows the valuation. Can the winner's curse happen in the private value auction? Yes or no? Can the winner's curse happen in the private value auction? Yes or no? We have just done this, right? Can the winner's curse happen in the private value auction? In the private value auction, can people ever be wrong about the valuation? Cannot. If I ask you what do you think of, what do you think this thing, nothing special, the rabbit, right, the rabbit cannot fly. It's special because it's the only bird that cannot fly. So ask you how much you think it's worth, you look at the bird, you can tell, run. So your valuation cannot be wrong because your own perception. So can you overbid? No. So in the private value auction, there's no such thing as a winner's curse. Because people look at the thing and they know how much it's worth. If you think it's worth 10 million, will you bid more than 10 million? No. That's why you will never suffer from the winner's curse. Right? You only suffer from the winner's curse because you don't know the actual valuation, and so you bid more than the actual valuation. Whereas in the private value auction, everyone is so clever, they look at the thing, they know how much it's worth. They never bid more. One thing for sure is that they will never bid more than their own valuation. Understand? So the winner's curse will not happen. Alright, any questions? How can it be avoided? Totally avoided, I don't think so, but you can reduce the probability of suffering from the curse. Okay? Now, let's look at some complication in auction. Now, are there any complications in auction? Yes. So what are some of the complications that we found? I'll change this word to B. What complications do we see in auction? Cheating. No, cheating. This one very dangerous. The seller cheat you. How? Well, very simple. Phantom bids. You know what phantom bids, right? I think in the newspaper you always heard about this thing. Election time, some country they say, well, this person win because why? They cheat, they use phantom bids. You know what phantom bids? Those people go and vote. They bid right. The paper with the name and the date of birth, all these people are already dead. Right, so that's why it's called phantom. Cheating, submitting bid which are false. People have already passed away. They are phantom. How can a ghost go and vote? You understand? Or bid. So the buyer cheat. No, not the buyer, the seller. Now how does the seller cheat? If the seller knows that the valuation between the two bidders are far apart, what should you do? You pay to cheat. Right, if you have some information that this person from another country is very keen to buy my house, very, very keen. And you know therefore there are two buyers, one value your house at 200 million, the other guy value your house at 1,000 million. What should you do? Cheat. The seller should cheat. Because if you don't cheat in an English auction, how much will he get? If you sell this house in the English auction, if you don't cheat, the seller get how much? 200 million as well. Right, why? Because once the bid ratio, so what should you do? You know that foreign buyers are more blurred. Right, they are not so well versed with everything. So you know that this fellow more blurred, right? His valuation is this, you can cheat. You put a phantom bid, you ask your friends to help you. So this guy bid 200, and your friend will bid 300. If your friend bid 300, will this guy follow? Sure, he will bid 400. And your friend bid 500. He bid 600. Your friend bid 800. He bid 900. Your friend bid 1,000. What did he do? Bye-bye. So who win? Your friend wins. So you lose. You win also, right? You win nothing. Just okay. Okay, now right. If that's the case, then unlucky. Unlucky. So 10 years ago, there was a bidder in Hong Kong also bidding for land. So this old lady, she outbid everybody. Then when she was the winner, what happened? She suddenly go crazy. So the auction was cancelled. There will go again 1 week later. Right, she just go crazy. Is she crazy? The phantom go into her? Yes, she went into her. That's why she anyhow bid. Right, you think so? She acts to bid. It's a phantom bid. For sure. Because once she bid until 1,000, this guy fall right. At least roughly now she knows the buyer's valuation are compared. You understand? So the second option this time, when you ask someone to bid, you better start at 900. Right. Then this guy will bid 1,000. At least you won't lose so much. Right? You don't use phantom bids, at most you get 200 million. So your friend will bid until 900 million stock rate. Won't go on. So at least the seller will get 8 to 900 million. Right. Because after you test the valuation, you know the highest is somewhere around here, right? Around here. So you stop around here. Understand? So the seller will get much more than you will otherwise get. In the second price CB auction, also the same. Why? In the second price CB auction, you can also use phantom bids. Very simple. If in the second price CB auction, let's say if you are honest, there are 2 bidders for your house. Bidder 1 bid 1 million. Bidder 2 bid 2 million. Now, if you sell your house using the second price CB auction, how much will you get? If you are an honest person. Who win? Bidder 2 win. But in the second price CB auction, you pay how much? The second highest bid. So you pay this. Now, if you are the seller, I'm sure you can see the bid, right? See what, so what? Put under bright light, you can see it. Right. Blue, so what? Put a bit of steam, the blue, so what now? I mean, not blue, normally you do this blue, right? I think what you do is a tongue and very and then close it around. Just put some steam to thing open. You can see this. What should you do? You have the seller. If you do nothing, you get this. For your house, right? You know what to do now? Very simple. You submit 1 more bid inside. Okay? All this bidder 3, Nanatao bid. How much should we put here? But let's not be so greedy. Maybe just put 1.9 million. Right. Then you see, still this guy win, but now he pay how much? 1.9. Okay? You can make $900,000 more by submitting a phantom bid, right? Because now this guy win, but he paid the second highest bid. The seller can cheat you a lot. So I think it's okay as long as the buyer didn't know. The buyer thought, anyway the buyer will be happy, right? If he don't know anything, he paid this, he thought he still make 100,000 run. I'm sure he will celebrate with all his friends. Right, and he managed to get a house $100,000 cheaper. But if you really found out that it's this cost, then you go crazy, right? You cheat him so much. So that's why I say don't be so greedy, don't be so, you are just shit if you do 1.9. Right? give 100,000. The land will be right, because in this world, ignorance is bliss. The least you know about anything, the more happy you are. Right? You live longer. The more you know about everything in life, the shorter your life. Everything will master it. So, okay, so I think you see, if you don't, if the seller integrity is not there, you can cheat you like crazy. Okay? Now, who else can cheat? Not only the seller know how to cheat, buyer also know how to cheat. Solution. How to cheat. Okay, we can collude together. Now, if the government sell a very big piece of land, and so the selling price is 3,000 million. Now, 3,000 million means small boys cannot go. Small developer cannot take part, right? Small player how to have access to 3,000 million, borrow from the bank and bank. So who join? Only a few big boys. Maybe two only. Right, city development, maybe capital land. You go and bid for the land, and the government sell the land for you to build property. Now if there are only two bidders, I tell you what you should do. You don't be crazy to go and outbid each other. What will you do? You cheat. You collude. The land price they ask for 3,000 million, right? We bid 2,000 million. So very simple, we share the profit. We already, even before we build house, we already make 1,000 million. And then you build, then we split the profit, right? Of course, accounting wise very easy. You do the building, you do the construction work and this and that. So we just arrange to swap the profit. Right. Understand? So pollution take place. Who else cheat? Treasury bill. Every 2 weeks you see in US, the US government has to borrow money. Right, to build roads or to build bridges or to roll over their debts. So they issue treasury bill. Treasury bill, that means the government borrow money. Treasury bill means IOU first. The maturity is 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months. Right. Singapore government also issue treasury bill. Right, you will build, build this and build that. Who bid? Not be you and me. Right, the minimum lot size is 1 million. Won't be you and me. Who bid? Only a few big boys bid. So the big investment banker like Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, Credit Suisse, all these will go. Right. So after a while you see it's only a few of these. You know what they do? Every week they see each other. And if they stay long enough with each other, they become friends and become very intimate. So they say, why should we bid against each other? Since we are all friends, why don't we collude? This week I let you win, next week you let me win. So all purposely bid very low so that you very high. So that's collusion. So you see the buyer can also cheat the seller. Okay, so these are some of the complications that we found in auction. So the only way the seller can do in this case, don't reveal who is the winner. If you don't reveal the winner, so all of us cooperate and say, look, we will bid so little, right? All cooperate, I will bid slightly higher than you. And bid. Why? It doesn't matter because why? Nobody knows who is the winner. The seller don't reveal the winner, let all the buyers fight among themselves. Understand? As for government, they will not sell the land if the bid is below the reserve price. That means if they want to sell the land for 3,000 million, minimum they want is 2,900 million. If they don't get that, they will sell. Okay? It's also good and bad. Some people say property price cannot come down in the short run because why? When property price go up, land price go up, the government, the reserve price go up. When property price comes down, the government will not sell the land at low price. Right? They usually expect the same reserve price. So because of that, if the reserve price will come down, developers who bought the land at this high price, right, they'll sell at a higher price. So the developers will for sure lose. Because why? If they are lucky, the market is still buoyant, no problem. But if the property market take the downturn, they buy the land at a higher price. Even if they want to sell higher, can they sell? Cannot. They are forced to lower the price, right? Because Every day they don't sell, they owe the bank a lot of interest. The interest is a lot because they're talking about a few $100 million. Right? So they are forced to lower the price. But right now, I think the property market is turning around. Other than a few weird transactions which are not representative, it's actually strong. Okay? And it will be worse in the next 2 to 3 years when all the supply actually flood the market. Okay. But of course, some property analysts tell you, no, there's no such thing as supply flooding the market. So therefore, property prices will come down. That cannot be true. What goes up must come down. But what comes down must also go back up. Right. Everything can go up and don't come down today. You and me won't be here. All of us are bosses. Everything just go up and very rich. Right. Why are you here? Why are you just sitting there not making money? Why am I here dropping you here and there sing song here? Right. Everything just go up. That's why you're still every day you go up and just go up. Okay. So these are the classification of options. I think options are finished everything. So after the break,